Hey guys and girls, what is going on? Journalists and Charles, welcome to episode 7 of Alternative Week. Yes, and I can't remember to 7 episodes in already. This week is just flown by, and yeah, it's been really cool, like discuss like all these different bands, both like heavy and more light-hearted. Would you say so?
Yep, and now we're really entering the heavy stage.
We are with the band Alice in Chains,
Alice in Chains.
He's wearing the t-shirt, Newsy Desk. How cool is this?
We both have the Facelift album on us, and
we
also the iconic Dirt album.
Yeah, which I heard at home, that's why I didn't bring it along with it. We're not confused, we still don't know whose copy of Facelift who.
Yeah, I think it's mine.
Oh, might be mine.
So here now.
Yours. Anyway, but yeah, Alice in Chains, guys and girls, they're originally known as Alice in Chains, a bit like what Guns N' Roses were.
That was in Lane Stanley's band before.
Was it, dude? Ah, I see, and yeah, they sort of changed their name so it was more like, accessible, because like, Alice in Chains, they were a band that like, they weren't really, like, they wanted like more mainstream success, which said it was supposed to like some of the others.
I guess, yeah, they just took it.
Yeah, absolutely, and there were several, like, we'll get onto this, like, their debut album, like, a bit of, like, issues with that recording.
Yeah, well, beforehand, there was never just all 4 of them to start with. They're all in different projects. Jerry Control was working with Mike Starr.
Really?
And drummer. Just escaped me.
And I think like Jerry Control and Lane Staley both like struggling musicians, like not talking like that. The music.
Lane Staley was in a band called Alice in Chains, and then Jerry Control had another band name. And then when
I think he's just like a stellar musician at the time.
Okay.
I think he was.
Well, Jerry Control and Lane Stanley started living together and started writing music under a different name, and then after playing a few gigs, they reinvigorated the name Alice in Chains.
As opposed to in Chains. And
they didn't like. Well, at first they didn't want to be like using too much like women and bondage. I don't think, and I don't think Lane Stanley's mum was very.
I was just trying to mention, like, is it Lane Staley or Jerry Control's mum?
I think it was Lane Stanley's mum, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Appreciative of it.
We don't really know the parental backgrounds of these guys. But well, we know some great musicians, and like Alice in Chains' like first like official release was the We Die Young EP, which came in 1990, and it's contained like 3 tracks, and 2 of these songs were eventually going to feature on the band's debut album, Facelift. Those 2 tracks being We Die Young and It Ain't Like That, and the 3rd track, which wasn't featured, is called Killing Yourself, and you can sort of see why. Have you heard that song, dude?
I have not personally.
Nah, but it's like, well, with that song, it's a bit more like looser in comparison to like the material that appeared on Facelift. And in 1990, Alice in Chains, like, obviously they received attention from We Die Young EP.
Indeed. So they went into they were going to record.
Yeah, and then police shut down the studio in the biggest like cannabis raid in the history of Seattle.
Yeah.
Kind of unfortunate, but eventually Sam got out,
Bit of a premonition, I guess.
In a way, yeah.
Chains.
Maybe it just wasn't meant to happen at that time, and there was something as well called like the Treehouse tapes as well. Like they showed it to people at shows.
Oh, that was before the We Die Young EP, wasn't it?
Yeah, and like on the Alice in Chains material, like when they released like We Die Young EP Face, like the material's much more refined. Like it sounds like a more like punk edge. Like I heard a bit of excerpts on YouTube.
More solemn, it's a lot more smoother, it's not as aggressive as what is seen later on in Alice in Chains material. I mean, you've got more like emotional songs such as Sea of Sorrow and Love Hate Love.
Absolutely.
Especially Love Hate
2
Love.
big hits from the album. Like Lane Staley's voice, it just like there was that harmonising going on there. It was
that's
very
what makes Alice in Chains more iconic than all the other grunge bands. Is just the harmonisation of Jerry Control and Lane Staley.
That's true. Those 2 make a great team.
And also the music. Jerry Control considers it more metal than anything else, and it's true. I mean, Alice in Chains were the heaviest of the grunge bands.
So we've looked at so far, definitely. The groups in the probably the alternatives due to like the lyrical themes and just like the downright darkness style.
They were probably the darkest band going.
Yeah, and this is a review that we've been looking forward to, and when we first stick on Facebook here, We Die Young, it's like something familiar for fans to like get stuck into.
It's a very renowned track. I mean, like, I've seen them playing at a New Year's ball or something like that, or on TV programs, and We Die Young. They're still playing, even with with Dirt. Not with Facelift, but with Dirt, they're still playing We Die Young.
It's not like a big song amongst Alice in Chains fans, and we get to see here new material like Man in the Box, which is like their biggest.
Yeah, it was one which was at first they'd hadn't been out for quite a while, but then when they released Man in the Box as a single, MTV started playing it, as we said in Pearl Jam. As soon as MTV gets a hold of it,
everything blows up, and like Alice in Chains is on this sound has like a very slick production. It's produced by a guy called Dave Jordan. You know, the thing is that like Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains, like both their albums, you know, like are produced in a very, you know, good manner, I suppose.
It's very high produced, like Columbia, Sony Records.
Yeah, like Columbia Records, like a major label. Like, you know, the thing is like with Pearl Jam, so that like both Pearl Jam and Alice in Chains weren't like, you know, straight away onto like independent labels, like straight onto like the big players.
Yeah, it wasn't like Soundgarden, it wasn't Nirvana, there wasn't a bit of a wait for it to happen.
I guess you could say like, you know, grunge like emerged with like more bands were like more easy, I suppose.
I guess, yeah, because these bands started a lot later. I mean, like they've been working together for a while, but not like Alice in Chains really started in like very late 80s, 89.
That's true.
90.
Yeah, I was just saying like Joe Control and Lane still got together and recruited Mike Starr and the drummer Sean Kinney.
Sean Kinney,
that's the one. We're still with the band today. You know, then like Man in the Box.
Well, Sean Kinney is.
Yeah. You know, they got Man in the Box. Yes, I was saying Man in the Box. Like really, it was much more like diverse than We Die Young concept.
It's got some crunching guitar riffs. You see, it's not as solemn as Love Hate Love. Well, I guess Love Hate Love is focused more on Lane Stanley's vocals, where
absolutely do.
You have Man in the Box is more about the guitar because you have Jerry Cantrell using what not many, I guess, instrumentalists were using. Was it? No, the talk box.
Oh, on Man in the Box,
which is also seen on
on
the Alice in Chains album as well. But I mean, you've only had artists like Adam Jones of Tool use one, and Peter Frampton.
Absolutely, I think probably like Peter Frampton this time. Long Adam Jones came later. You know, and that like really like the lengthy material, more diverse, you know, structure-wise, continue on Sea of Sorrow track 3. Which, as I said in my initial review, I wasn't really a fan of like the piano part. It's grown on me, and it really fits into that vibe of the song.
It fits great Alice in Chains song, pretty much suits some of the harmonising, but just darkness.
Absolutely. I mean, there's like a certain sound of this, you know, as I was saying, like you can like look at the artwork, like listen to a song in your head and like really visualise it. So there's this like sunshiny, druggy sound overall.
Especially from Alice in Chains' artwork.
Facelift, which features a distorted clown. I think they made like interpretation like Jerry Cantrell or something.
Very interesting man, as you get that's more of a dirt sort of image.
Yeah, it is as well. See like on the back artwork of Dirt, for instance.
Reminds me of Down in a Hole video as well, just because of where it's set.
Yeah.
It's like deserty sort of.
I guess I just watched some of Dirt anyways, do the album after this. I mean, they got songs like Believe the Freak, which are, you know, they're not like as revered as like those previous songs, but you know, they're still absolutely fantastic additions to the album. You know, they get songs like, you know, I Can't Remember Which, you know, is again a big song. Like, you know, the sounds like a great flow, and you know, that's why it's one of the 3 most albums.
Yeah.
Like, really a fan of, and you know, and then gets the big, like, grandiose piece, Love Hate Love.
Yeah. Oh, just a beautiful song. Apparently, it was like one of the ones that, comparison to album and live, it was never one that he could hit live as he did on the album Lane Stanley, except for like a couple of occasions.
Sweet. Yeah, I mean, like with Alice in Chains, it's like albums like take you on a journey.
Yeah, especially with Love Hate Lover, they're never shy of long tracks because they're about 7 minutes long.
But the thing is, like, it's really listenable. Like, you know, all the parts are expertly played out as like a great structure and flow. And you get like the more like symmetry, like It Ain't Like That, which contains like, you know, an instantly casual riff.
Which is from the We Die Young EP.
That's true. That's the second track on the album. You know, Jerry Cantrell plays like a really sweet riff to it.
Alice in Chains pretty much had their sound as soon as they started.
Yeah.
Tuned down to half a step, crunching guitars.
Sort of, because like, you know, second layer like early material was more punky, and then got like
Dave Jones and Fully Records. This dark tonality set, ready for what's to come next.
It was sort of like set out as soon as like, you know, started release like official records, I suppose. Yeah, but like this song's just like sunshine and put you down. You know, like many fans, you know, if you like, you know, like overlook the song, but still brilliant. I mean, it's like an exceptional quality like running throughout this album as a whole. Would you agree, my friend?
Yeah, for a down band to have a track like Sunshine as the name.
I don't think it's written about like Jerry Cantrell's mum or something. It's kind of like a little love song in many ways. Yeah. Whereas like Love Hate Love sort of like a depraved song. It's about like one of Lane's exes or something. So yeah, as I was saying, like basically like a typical like grunge vibe to have like lyrical themes of like, you know, broken up relationships, the drugs, death. Saying they got, you know, Confusion is probably like my least favourite song on Sam, would you say?
I do have more preferences.
Yeah, it's interesting.
To later tracks in this album.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just already found Lane's vocals on that song. You know, I don't. It doesn't really anything new.
But then again, Lane Stanley did have like a golden god voice.
It did. You know, his voice was so iconic. Really, for Alice in Chains music as well to alternative scene 90s very well. I feel. You know, I Know Something About You, the 11th song. That's like, you know, that's considered to be a weak cover. I think it's actually better what Confusion is. And then it ends on like Real Thing, which is one of my most favourite Alice in Chains. It's actually in drop D that tuning as well.
Well,
so
later on in the next 2 albums, you'll see a more down-tuned guitar work.
Oh, you will. But after, like, firstly, I was saying, like, the albums take you on, like, a dark journey. It's not like just, like, you're in, like, the shallow end of a swimming pool with Facelift, you know?
Yeah.
Strange, man. But it's more like the metal album. It's more, like, accessible, I suppose.
Well, they do consider themselves metal, so I guess that's what they were going for at first.
Yeah, it's not like it's what, like, say, Dark and Depraved was what the following album would be. Yeah, it just sort of, like, gives you, like, a great, grandiose sound which to headbang to, I suppose. You know,
just this rebellious rock again. What we've seen a lot of grunge bands. Something different.
That's true. You know, I also like Soundgarden and playing Heavy Material, but also just like well producers like this in 1990.
Yeah.
It's just sounded like Loud and Loving You before that wasn't like you couldn't compare this to Loud and Love because you do.
No way.
You know, I was just saying like 1990, you know, into 91 was like a real epitome year for alternative music. You know, with Facelift, you know, it's just like a great, you know, debut studio album Alice in Chains. You know, that's something there's not many flaws. You know, introduced the band in a very awesome, very dark music, very depraved lyrical.
And then coming after that is the EP Sap, which
that's true, which is different because it features the song Brothers, has like female vocals. Did you say something about Heart or something, dude?
Yeah, the female vocalist from Heart, I think, is in that track. I mean, there's
it's called Nancy or something. Nancy Hart.
Is it okay?
I think so. Not too sure.
I don't know. And there's like this album is more of an acoustic. It's a different side to Alice in Chains. I mean, the whole concept of this EP, I think drummer Sean Kinney just like had a dream that he was going to create this EP called Sat, and not to chance fate, on the artwork's a bucket, isn't it?
Yeah, like a bucket collecting tree sap.
And just not to chance fate, they went in, they recorded 4 just great tracks.
Yeah, Brother Got Me Wrong, Am I Inside, and then the other one.
Wow.
But yeah, like the version of Brother on Sap EP is different to what featured on the Essential Alice in Chains, the greatest hits came in 2006.
Yeah, it's just a nice aside to Alice in Chains. Just like I said in the Pilgrim, there's just more diversity in these bands. They write these heavy crunching riffs, but there's also these beautiful acoustic songs, especially in Alice in Chains.
Absolutely, you know, Alice in Chains, you know, for like kick out a lot of material built in, you know, in terms of like LPs,
and there's 2 more occasions later on where they produce this beautiful acoustic music.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And you know, when Sap sort of like, would you say it wasn't necessarily an introduction to what would come later on Dirt in many ways?
No, I think it was just something different. Just some guys sat down and played some acoustic music, and there's also guest appearances from the likes of Chris Cornell.
Oh yes. Like you can just hear his wails come in, you know. I don't know, I didn't really dig that part of that song to be honest, whatever it was, but
it's different.
Yeah, it's like I was just saying, like grunge also it's like a band of brothers, you know. Everyone helps each other out. I suppose.
Yeah, they all influence each other and stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And Dirt was actually produced by the same producer from Facelift, Dave Jordan. But you know, as soon as you hear like the first track and those screams from Lane Still and there's like dark drop D riffs and Jerry Control, you know it's a bit an entirely different affair.
Drop D?
I think so, dude.
Half step and drop C sharp.
Oh. I got told differently on the internet.
Dirt.
I blame Alex from GuitarForce.com telling me wrong when I was learning the song. But yeah, like Facelift, you know, it's just like an have an up vibe point at times, but Dirt is where, you know, like really like the band.
It's their mainstream success album.
It really is, you know, if anything else in Chains fans will quote Dirt as like an absolute classic album. You know, and obviously at this time, like, you know, drug use was rife in the band. That's the same style. We talk about the tattoo artwork. You know, that's how it became symbolic to, and that's the depraved back cover. Yeah, it sort of retains like this like druggy, sandy, deserty vibe of the artwork.
Dirty.
Yeah. Now that really sums up the style of the music, you know.
Just every track on this album is just even I'm Glad.
Dream Sequence. I'm Glad.
This is a little instrumental thing, but just any track. I mean, there's 5 singles from this album, but all of them are penultimate tracks.
I mean, I don't think their singles necessarily give like a good indication. It's bad. That's why I said on Twitter once day I become like more of an album.
Definitely. There's tracks on this which I like, Dirt, for instance, and Hate to Feel those and Godsmack. Just great tracks, one after the other.
Yeah, it's like Dead Birds, you know, it's some sort of Alice in Chains, but it just
kicks in as soon as it starts, that scream from Alice, Stanley.
Yeah, I mean, I got comparisons like We Die Young, it's like a fast, you know, little opening song.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, because obviously, as I was saying, like, drug use was pretty rife.
Ben Bones is just this crunching guitars going up and down the fretboards. There's this kick-ass solo which goes on for quite a while at the end of the track.
Yeah, it's
something
brilliant.
new.
I feel like was the case to be down, but obviously presented much more darker format.
This is their most successful album to date. Many times platinum.
It's so well.
Just setting them up for what was to come next.
It's set the bar for many like bands, you know, of that particular genre, I suppose. And when it gets to track 2 down that river, you know, it doesn't, you know, hit you with like, it's not as like complex like what My Name Box was track 2 on Facelift, but it certainly fits the flow of the album well.
Heavy guitars, just like them bones, just going up and down the fretboard.
Yeah, I said like Down That River is actually like more upbeat what them bones is in a way. Like the tonality of the guitars,
especially.
Baby. You know, it's like, you know, it's a bit long, but it has like a great chorus.
Yeah, it's just a great chorus, and then there's a lot more.
It's really dark.
Yeah, there's a lot more dark, depressive, suicidal drug use.
Yeah,
pretty much seen throughout Alice in Chains' early career is what is seen.
Yeah, because Lane Staley like we recorded some of the songs whilst in bleeding influence of drugs about what Savage did.
Yeah, then you get more like balladic.
That's new.
Balladic tracks such as Rain When I Die.
Oh, but again, that feels like it's more like it is heavy as well. It's also like more like melodic and more
balladic. It's good use of Lane's vocals, how he prolongs them after the chorus when he goes into the like wah pedal guitars.
Oh yeah, I think I know this one because like, you know, so, like Jerry Coachella got a great use of like the wah on his guitars.
Very much.
Showing a lot more
experimental use of guitars on this album from Jerry Coachella.
Yeah, it's then you get songs like Sick Man, which track 4. It's not. I would say Sick Man like really stands out as much as like
in comparison to the tracks.
Yeah, it's been getting like showcase like that dark vibe, and it's always the title Sick Man could be a reference to drugs.
And then one of the more penultimate tracks from the album in the single Rooster.
Oh, Rooster is a beautiful
one of
song.
The most popular Alice in Chains tracks. Just the video is dark and eerie and about war and stuff.
And also featured an episode of Supernatural.
So might get free reviews now. You mentioned popular.
But yeah, it's like with Rooster, you know, it has like a really, you know, really beautiful like vibe. I couldn't actually get into the song first; it was so long. But obviously, as my musical taste like developed, I really appreciated the song more.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks they've written. Absolutely,
and you know, in terms of like lyrical matter of the song, it's a bit not as dark. It's written about like Jerry Coachella's grandfather in like World War II or something.
Okay.
So, you know, sums up like, you know, that fighting spirit mentality that is going to, you know, go out and do his best and he ain't going to die. Ain't found a way to kill him yet. Yeah, it's a good song though, the Rooster, you know. Like when we thought like Rain When I Die was more like melody.
This is the most melodic track I guess on the album.
Rooster is a beautiful song, like brilliant chord work from Jerry Cantrell.
This and Down in the Hole probably the more melodic ones.
Yeah, Down in the Hole. Although we'll get to like another version of Down in the Hole later on, so if you guys go, so that feels like actually better than the song on Dirt.
Yeah, it's pretty much after our time period, but it's very important to mention.
It is, and after Rooster we get Junkhead, which, you know, was the first time Hill's actually bought Dirt, and you know, it's the chorus is like really upbeat and to do when there's like, what's my drug of choice?
Yeah, it's more of a song about someone like in a position as a popular rock star at this point.
Yeah.
Like he's getting the money, he can get wasted on drugs, and he's still got money tomorrow.
I think I said Lane Staley's writing like a personal perspective. That if Junkhead, it really the title alone sums up what the lyrical matter's about. And I'm not surprised by like the band would like write lyrics about like drugs, seeing as, you know, Lane Staley was obviously he turned to a heroin addict or something. But yeah, they get like more like the album like, really does get depraved, like this song Dirt, which comes after like a really 6-minute long, you know, grandiose epic
so
song.
This really angry sort of depressing vibe of Alice in Chains appears in the
you know, Lane Staley's vocals in this song like really depraved, you know. Like say, wash your face with dirt. Like extends at the end of that the dirt to make it sound really evil, and
it's good use of vocals. The harmonising is very strong on song.
Yeah, I think this is like the album. Like, you know, people really took note of like the harmonisation between Jerry Cantrell and Lane Staley,
and a lot more angry vocals from Lane Staley.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you use your talents, just like with the way he says it.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, the Lane Staley's themes on this album really are like angry and dark and stuff. They get songs like Godsmack track 8, which is obviously where the band Godsmack got their name from, so I would say
more aggressive track.
Yeah, it doesn't, I don't feel it captures the attention much like some of the others. I feel like Godsmack and Sick Man, you know, they're not really like stand out much what the others up to this point, I suppose.
But then from here on out, it's just hit after hit.
Yeah, it's overall it sounds like full of, you know, memorable Alice in Chains songs that fans obviously know about. You know, Godsmack is, as I was saying, like obviously a little reference to drugs again.
And then Angry Chair, it's the first time we'll see Lane Staley playing guitar, if the only time.
He plays guitar now, Angry Chair?
Yeah, and he does only Unplugged one as well, he used to play it live.
Wow, I never knew that, man. Imagine, although Willie Duval does guitars these days, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
So does Jerry Control, so maybe they're sort of expecting that, that's why I've probably got guitar playing Willie Fun Club, because, later on. Once Godsmack's over, track 8 gets to the Iron Gland Dream sequence, just like a little prelude introduction to Hate to Feel. Where it's just to say it's sort of depraved. I know one reviewer said it was like a satanic merry-go-round.
I do enjoy the beginning of Hate to Feel, just like the use of his vocals.
Oh, it's a great song, Hate to Feel. It's sort of like, this overall the sound, like a general sound from it is what you kind of facelift. But it's just like the dark depravity of the lyrics and stuff, like the musical instrumentation really makes it stand out. Hate to Feel it's a longer song as well, Hate to Feel, to do.
Yeah, it's one of the longest ones, like up there with Rooster and Down in Hole. There's the longest tracks in Down. I think Down in Hole's quite long. Well, no, it's not. My bad.
Yeah, I know Rooster is, but how would you feel about Hate to Feel and Rooster do, like in terms of which songs you enjoy more?
I probably enjoy Rooster more.
Yeah,
because
I'm proud to agree with you there.
Emotion behind it.
Absolutely, I think Hate to Feel is a love song as well in some way, I'm not too sure. I know one song was written about, that's from another album, one song was written about one of Jerry Control's exes. They got Angry Chair, which my awesome cousin Trevito has mentioned earlier, and Angry Chair really pulled me in, I remember seeing...
That was one of the first Alice in Chains tracks I heard, I think.
Absolutely, because we both heard Dead Bones on GTA, and then Angry Chair, like, song stood out to me, it's like a unique title, there's not many songs called Angry Chair with them. Because I remember seeing the end of the video, like this chair burning, and I checked out the full song, and it's just the epitome of dark, this bass riff from Mike Starr, it's really illusion, that dark guitar from Lace vocals.
This is the last album we'll have Mike Starr on.
I know, it led to us to leave the band due to...
I think he just left.
Wow.
He's in the middle of a tour as well, I think, or I might be wrong.
Has that happened before when my band's didn't it do?
Yeah, I think he just left, Mike Starr.
Wow. But
he left, and then they got, because they're on tour with Ozzy Osbourne, that's when Mike Hines comes in, because he was bassist for Ozzy Osbourne.
Absolutely, Angry Chair was the first Alice in Chains song, it genuinely scared me, just like Lane's vocal delivery, I suppose. It's just a really dark song, just lyrically and musically as well.
And then comes one of the more beautiful tracks.
Down in the Hole, it's like as the upbeat, nature-like songs, it's just is it Junkhead?
Yeah.
Junkhead and Down That River.
It's more suitable acoustic though, Down in the Hole. It's just on the Unplugged. It's just it's probably the best performance on Unplugged.
I'll tell you all a story about how I reacted once I heard Down in the Hole acoustic on MTV Unplugged. It was awesome. Down in the Hole, it's obviously a very dark, lyric matter about
death.
Yeah. I remember one of my favourite YouTubers, Cover Killer Nation, described it as you're in the grave and the dirt's been poured on top of you.
It's one of the interesting music videos as well. It's just all this dirty, like an orange tint or dark black tint of the camera.
It reflects the album artwork in many ways. And the album ends on wood, which lets you off because you've experienced a whole lot of dark and depraved music.
The last line is what really finishes this out. It kicks off as soon as it starts. It kicks off. It's emphasises as soon as it finishes. It does,
because Dead Bone starts with a scream, and Wood ends with shouts saying "Wood could you?"
Yeah.
It really ends the album. You just look at you're just blown away as soon as you're ending. Songs Sick Man are good, and Godsmack also, as they're saying, they don't stand out as much as some of the other songs do.
Indeed.
After Dirt, as I say, this really propelled Alice in Chains, into mainstream, acceptance amongst a lot of people.
They were high up in the Billboard charts. Some of the tracks were going they've had 13 tracks in the top 10, something like that.
Wow.
Quite a few from this album, but then they set them up for their next release.
But I was just going to ask you, did you know how grunge and alternative music really look in the 90s? Do you know if these bands Part of the albums that we did these days would be high revered as much probably did in the 90s?
No, not bands these days. You'll not find many of those in the charts with a similar attitude.
It's just a different vibe. That's probably why I enjoy it so much.
Yeah, it's just, I guess, especially with what they produce next, is just, it's not the same. It's not heavy guitars or anything. It's the Jar of Flies EP.
Which was another acoustic EP.
It was just something random. They just, for 1 week, they'd just pick up four guys with their guitars and they just see what they could do. And this is the first record with Mike Hines on it.
It came out 2 years after Dirt to do 1994.
Yeah. And because they've been touring a lot with Dirt as well.
Absolutely.
And there's also, now this is where...
I'm not surprised new material came out.
Yeah, this is where drug problems are also starting with Lane Scully. But there's 7 tracks.
Never really reflects in the music though, it's all good performances.
Especially with this, just 7 tracks. And it was the first EP.
7 tracks on Jar of Flies?
Yeah, 7 tracks.
Really?
And it was the first EP to ever go to #1 and never been something like that. That changed later on, I think, like a lot later for it. It was Jay-Z and Linkin Park's collaboration.
That Collision Course.
Yeah. And
nice.
I wouldn't really call that an EP, but there's quite a lot of tracks on that. So
yeah, it seems like a bit of double album, but yeah, Jar of Flies, you know, it's again like you said, it's
beautiful.
It shows just how like good like Alton Chase is like acoustically.
Powerful. It's probably the best EP I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm not. You know, it is like sort of recognition. It went straight to the first EP.
I think like Dirt's gone quite a few times platinum, but this Jar of Flies got 2 times platinum, and then it went to #1, I think, just because of the hype of Dirt, but not just Dirt. The EP in itself is
awesome.
There's tracks like No Excuses,
Rotten Apple, Nutshell. Nutshell.
Nutshell acoustic is amazing. I mean, No Excuses is more upbeat than anything else that's like, written.
I once said like No Excuses, my favourite Alice in Chains song, but I was like changed like Nutshell, it's just sheer beauty. I mean, it shows like how 2 of my most favourite Alice in Chains songs content in this EP, how good it actually is.
It's just reinforcing that they can do whatever they want with guitars and just make beautiful. I mean, obviously, Rotten Apples, it's in the name. It's like a dirty track. I mean, it's like depressing. I mean, in comparison to the Sap EP, this is all acoustic. There's no electrics.
And what I've noticed about Alice in Chains acoustics as well is that you can really like sing along to it close, so you can hear Lane's vocal style more soaring, and it's like when it's like laid by loads of distorted heavy metal guitars and Jerry Control.
It's a good use of vocal. We'll have to change it now. It's like more somber.
Yeah, it's like on the album after, which was self-titled, you know, it really had like a very. I thought it was real cool vocal style and stuff.
It was a bit awkward now between Jar of Flies and the Alice in Chains self-titled, because after Jar of Flies, it's like after that, it's like the last big tour, I guess.
Yes, Lane Scully has like some more like drug problems.
Yeah, 1994 is like the last time they played a proper gig with Lane Scully for a long time.
Until they reunite for a later show.
Until the Unplugged.
Yeah,
and then a couple of shows afterwards, I think there were. I'm not sure. So. Yeah, and then that was it for Alice in Chains touring for the 90s.
Yeah, and you know, with Jar of Flies, like it really captured a moment, you know, like how Alice in Chains like so like diverse musical, it's really awesome how it captures really beautiful acoustics.
And then they reinvigorate more, not heavy wise. I mean, there's still the crunches, more down-tuned guitars as well on this album, but there's more of a like sludgy. The first track's called Grind, which
just curiously, do you know the Jar of Flies EP? Do you know the tunings for any of the songs?
I think it'll just be standard or half step down for the acoustic guitars.
Yeah, I really like a half step vibe now, especially like songs.
Roosters in half step, and that's what a lot of tracks. So I'm just thinking, I think we'll just keep to that for the softer stuff.
Yeah, like do they do C sharp sometimes? Like
tracks such as Down That River, I think, is in C sharp. But
alternative tuning, alternative rock, alternative tuning.
Because in between, even though he had his drug problems, Lane Scully had also joined a supergroup with
Matt Season
with some Pearl Jam members. But then, like, this is when Alice in Chains went back in the studio, like Jerry Cantrell has been working on some new stuff, so that's where Grind was the first track, I think, which came out. And I think the Grind is sort of the grindy track, sort of just.
Yeah, like, the thing is, this album, like, in terms like, it has got like a more like lo-fi production style, you know. It feels more looser and stuff like that.
It's looser, some tracks are more upbeat than others.
Yeah, I get like the chorus in Grind's like much more upbeat too. And
like Heaven Beside You, one of the best tracks from that album.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, I don't know, I get a general general vibe from the general grind from Grind. Yeah, the general vibe from Grind is much more upbeat. You know, it's like Let the Sun Never Blind Your Eyes.
What you said to me is that there's a good use of Lane's voice on this album. It's a lot more experimental from Alice in Chains, definitely.
Absolutely, it's a very experimental album. I wouldn't say Grind's like really when it first showcases, but
yeah, and this has gone 2 times platinum as well. This album,
I
don't think it's a bad album. I mean, people. This will get ignored. This not from Facelift Dirt and Jar of Flies. This album will get ignored.
It's always going to happen, you know. I would feel like you got preceding release like Facelift Dirt and Jar of Flies.
It's just an iconic album because this album was released and didn't get a tour.
Yeah, and the artwork's intriguing too. It's called a tripod album, three-legged dog.
And it's very greyish, it looks very old, and it just suits the album to a T.
You know, a lot of people have said this album is like really, really dark, you know, the epitome of dark.
It's just like the last Alice in Chains record before, well, except for Unplugged, but last proper record.
Like, we did with Lane.
Yeah, we did with Lane Scully.
mean, there's some like really interesting like guitar melodies on this album, which are different to what like Spawn on Facelift and Dirt. You got songs just like Sludge Factory, for instance, which is primarily about like Lane's different voice. So I think it's really cool.
It's just tracks like this which make the album.
It does. It's like 7 minutes of like awesomeness. Yeah, it's so it's a very
I guess they
sludgy
can be
album.
called a sort of sludge metal band.
Anyway, it's like Alice in Chains like really wants to like go dark like we did with Dirt, and this is a resulting album.
Just keep the metal flowing.
Yeah, I mean, but then you got like your more like song that like more ballady stuff like Heaven Beside You, which is a song that's just written about one jerk and Charles X's.
Ah, that's the one.
And that's actually one of my most favorite Alice in Chains songs. Like, yeah, it's strange, my most favorite Alice in Chains songs more acoustic and stuff. I don't know.
There's a couple of acoustic I think on that album. I'm not sure.
I think so.
I think that's definitely acoustic.
Yeah,
it sounds like there was another one. I can't remember.
I think so. It just sounds like a really beautiful melody. I mean, the track has a lot of like head creeps and fronts. The really like the dark.
Just these weird name songs.
Yeah, alternative nature of the album. And the final song Over Now ends with like it's like sort of like death knell horn thing. Before it goes into like the melody. And it sounds like a really somber like acoustic number.
Very interesting way to end the album.
It is because. Although, I'd say this album doesn't let you off, like, that's like a consistent flow.
I don't think this album disappoints you either.
Nah, it's just like, there's so much, like, it's so different.
So if you're a real fan of Alice in Chains, it's a lot different to what you've heard before.
Yeah, definitely. And it came, like, 3 years after Dirt, obviously a year after Jar of Flies. But, but like, the guitar melodies thing is just so, like, darker and different to, as to what they've come before.
Yeah, there's just a lot of problems, a lot of tensions, and just it's just different.
Yeah, very.
A lot of influences go into it.
Yeah, although as I was saying earlier, like, it really reflects in the music because music is so substantial.
It's not like it's bad music. No, it's just there's a lot of stuff behind closed doors.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
Not skeletons in the closet.
Absolutely. Good, but isn't there a Jay-Z song?
Oh, I don't know, but it's just a
use of
phrase.
But yeah, like as I was saying, like the band were unable to tour for this album due to Lane's problems, drugs problems. Like his conditions like deteriorating quite a lot.
Killed him.
Unfortunately, so I mean, even I made an interview like heroin had like ruined his life and stuff.
But to say deteriorating is also what happened to Liz, as he was no one found him for 2 weeks.
No, and then what happened was dreadful, and the band like actually reconvened, for the Alice after like our period, like it's got special like, the MTV Unplugged performance in New York.
Yeah, I mean even though the band didn't talk, they never stopped until they never really discontinued. It was just that Lane couldn't talk.
Yeah, it's just like like the MTV Unplugged performance came like 2 years after the last played a show together.
1996 is when it came, and it's just some beautiful renditions of tracks such as Down in the Hole,
which gave me goosebumps all up my arms and back as soon as I heard it. It's like
Angry Chair from Dirt. There's just tracks. Love Hate Love, I think they did.
Yeah, I think that's why I probably enjoyed it. Like, it was always like I was always going to try an Alice in Chains Unplugged performance because they're more acoustic stuff. I like it a lot.
That's what dominated that performance was the acoustic stuff.
Absolutely. I know like Lane screws up with the Sludge Factory, but I guess it's like the.
They play like a minute of it and he just stops.
Yeah, it's because he's got some of the lyrics on, but it's because like it looks.
I think he goes like, you get to hear more.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, the band reconvened like pretty like a killer performance.
Yeah, I mean, for a band which had to cancel a tour with Metallica due to his drug problems, they really revitalised it.
Yeah, I mean, like, Alice in Chains, although, they're still ridden with strife, they had like a bit of humour, like, obviously, because the new member Mike Inez had joined.
And on the guitar he'd written.
Friends don't let other friends get friends' haircuts.
Because during this period is where Metallica went more experimental with Load and Reload.
Yeah,
cut their hair.
I think Metallica were actually in the audience for that performance too. So because I know they played the opening riff to Enter Sandman before they started playing Sludge Factory. So it's cool like that chemistry. Like, even though they screwed up, they actually like continued playing for like a kill performance throughout the rest of the
I guess they are more comical because it's more intimate. Like the Mamas is a lot more comical than what the band were. I mean, they are quite funny on interviews and stuff.
Yeah, it's cool for
alternative band.
I think it's cool like for alternative bands like discuss all these like dark things with its like underlying like humour in a way. And obviously with Alice in Chains, there's so many amazing acoustic songs from it. Like.
And then Alice in Chains didn't stop there after Lane's Death. They came back in 2005 with a new singer.
Willie DuVall. Although Maynard James Keenan of Tool have been trying that too. And that would make quite a combination.
Main vocals are involved around Eric Control these days.
Yeah, they are definitely. His voice, him and he was like the main. Although obviously Lane, you know, his voice to play a massive part
a lot of
in
people,
band songs.
a lot of people don't like the new albums, Black Gives Way to Blue and Double Dinosaurs here, because it's
I
not
like
Lane, but I like them. It's something different.
It was also a bit different voice from William Duvalki. I mean, when I first did Black Gives Way to Blue, I thought it was like Lane still. Obviously, it's more just something himself.
It's more metal. It's more uplifting, I guess. In some
like
areas.
this.
The music's more experimental as well. Yeah, I guess like a more modern face.
Right back to Facelift. You know, so don't, you know, people are saying, like, as you were saying, like earlier, like, you know, people think of Alice in Chains, they don't think about the first 3 albums, you don't think of the ones that we didn't
band
believe about.
changes, you have to deal with it.
You do, like, you know, many people obviously been massive Lane fans and like not want to give William
like us. I mean, I do prefer Lane to William.
Obviously, I've said the material too, but I'll listen to William DeVos if I enjoy that too. So
yeah,
I think that's
Alice in Chains.
So this Alice in Chains to you guys, probably one of the most darkest, but obviously their influence was prevalent in the alternative scene.
Yeah, one of my most favourite bands.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like, you know, a lot of fans of the genre music will put Alice in Chains as being like, you know, pioneers of something really, really great. It's all enjoyable for you guys, and until next time, I've been Jonny Middleton.
And I've been Travis Ward.
Stay safe, stay strong, and we shall see you all in the future forever. Peace. Episode 7 down, baby.